Gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a moment with a woman intimate, vulnerable, powerful, yet felt this heavy pressure in your chest because you weren't sure if you were enough? Maybe you were thinking more about performance than connection. Maybe you were trying so hard to do it right that you forgot the most important truth. Intimacy is not about tricks. It's about presence. Too many men go into the bedroom thinking they need to impress her with technique, with speed, with the next move. But here's the hard truth. Your woman doesn't want a performance. She wants to feel you, not just your body, you. She wants to feel that you see her, hear her, and are willing to slow down long enough to honor the experience. And the reason I'm telling you this is simple. Far too many high-value men, strong men, men who fight every day in this world, are emotionally starving when it comes to intimacy. They go down on her with their bodies, but they forget to show up with their hearts. If you want her to trust you, open to you, crave you, then stop doing the things that kill connection and start practicing the things that make her feel safe, desired, and unforgettable. So let's break this down into 6 truths you need to understand. Gentlemen, listen carefully. One of the biggest mistakes men make in intimacy is rushing. You think speed equals passion. You think moving fast shows confidence. But the truth is, when you rush, what you're really showing is impatience. And impatience is the enemy of deep connection. Imagine this. A woman is lying there with you, her body vulnerable, her heart open. She's not waiting for you to finish a task. She's waiting for you to see her, to feel her, to let her know, without a single word, that in this moment, there is nowhere else you'd rather be. When you move too quickly, when you're more focused on getting it right than simply being present, she feels it. She feels like you're doing something to her instead of with her. Presence is everything. When you slow down, when you take your time, when every kiss, every touch, every breath carries intention, you transform the moment. You create safety, and in safety, she surrenders. She opens, not just physically, but emotionally. And that's when intimacy becomes unforgettable. Think about it this way. Women don't crave men who perform. They crave men who feel. Rushing tells her you're disconnected. Presence tells her you're tuned into her, that you're leading with confidence, that you understand the power of patience. A high-value man is not the one who's desperate to impress, but the one who is grounded enough to enjoy the journey. So, the next time you find yourself in that moment, pause, breathe, look at her. Let your hands linger. Let your lips rest longer than feels comfortable. Let her feel the weight of your attention. Because when you slow down, you tell her, you matter. You're not a checklist. You are the whole experience. And that, gentlemen, is where true power lies. Not in speed, not in tricks, but in presence. Gentlemen, here's a truth you cannot afford to miss. Women are always communicating, not always with words, but with breath, with movement, with energy. The mistake too many men make is assuming they already know what she wants, so they stop paying attention. They get stuck in their own head, in their own agenda, and in that moment, they lose the chance to build real intimacy. When you go down on her, it's not about doing what you think works, it's about listening to what she's actually telling you. Every subtle sigh, every arch of her back, every way she presses closer or pulls slightly away, that's information, that's guidance, that's her language of desire. If you ignore it, you create distance. If you pay attention, you create magic. The greatest mistake men make in the bedroom is treating intimacy like a formula. But women are not formulas. They are seasons, waves, shifting energies. What worked last time may not work today. That's why the high-value man doesn't force his plan onto her. He tunes in, adjusts, responds. He becomes present enough to read the signals and confident enough to change course when necessary. This is what separates boys from men. Boys chase outcomes, men honor connection. And honoring connection means becoming an observer of her body, a student of her emotions. When she breathes deeper, stay there. When she tenses up, slow down. When she melts, lean into that moment. You don't need her to spell it out. Her body is already telling the story. Listening with more than your ears is about empathy. It's about dropping your ego long enough to say, teach me who you are. And when she feels that, when she knows you're paying attention to every unspoken signal, she doesn't just give you her body, she gives you her trust. And trust, gentlemen, is the foundation of unforgettable intimacy. Not tricks, not speed, not ego trust. So stop ignoring her signals. Stop assuming. Stop being blind to the language she's already speaking. If you want her to remember you, to crave you, to see you as different from the rest, then listen. Not with your ears alone, but with your eyes, your hands, your heart, and your presence. That's where true connection is built. Gentlemen, let's be real. So many men step into intimacy carrying a silent scoreboard in their minds. They're not just present with their woman. They're measuring, comparing, grading themselves. Am I the best she's ever had? Did I last long enough? Did I do the right move? And this hidden competition with imaginary opponents is the fastest way to disconnect from her heart. Ego will always whisper in your ear, telling you that intimacy is about proving yourself. That if she moans, you're winning. That if she doesn't, you're failing. But here's the truth. When you bring ego into the set bedroom, you make it about you, not about her. And the moment she feels that, she pulls back emotionally. She might not say it, but deep down, she knows you're performing for your pride, not connecting with her soul. A woman doesn't want a man who's trying to beat the last guy. She wants a man who shows up for her uniquely, authentically, without needing to prove anything. Do you know what real confidence looks like? It's not being obsessed with whether you're number one. It's being so grounded in who you are that you don't need to compete. It's understanding that intimacy is not a race, not a test, not a performance. It's a shared experience. When you drop the scoreboard, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start creating connection. You stop asking, am I enough? And start asking, how can I make her feel safe, seen, and desired in this moment? That's when she begins to relax into you. That's when she feels the difference between a boy trying to impress and a man who already knows his worth. Remember this, ego is loud, but intimacy is quiet. Ego demands recognition, but intimacy asks for surrender. And surrender only happens when she feels you're there for her, not your pride, not your reputation, not your performance. So let go of the scoreboard. Stop keeping score of how many times, how many minutes, how many techniques. The only score that matters is whether she felt cherished, whether she felt connected, whether she left that moment thinking, with him I felt safe to be fully myself. Gentlemen, that is victory, and it has nothing to do with ego. Gentlemen, let's address something that destroys intimacy before it even begins. Treating going down on her like a favor. Too many men approach this moment with the mindset of, I'll do this for her, so she'll do something for me. And whether you say it out loud or not, she can feel it. Women are deeply intuitive. If your energy carries, expectation. If your touch is rooted in a silent bargain, she will sense it and it will kill the connection instantly. True intimacy is not transactional. It's not about giving to get. When you approach her with that mindset, you reduce her from a human being to a vending machine. Insert effort, expect reward, and she will feel objectified instead of cherished. But here's the reality. Women want to feel desired for who they are, not for what they'll give back. When you treat intimacy as an exchange, you rob her of the chance to trust that your desire is genuine. And trust me, when she feels like it's authentic, when she feels like you're giving without keeping score, she'll open up to you in ways that no transaction could ever buy. A high-value man doesn't say, I'll do this so she owes me. He says, I want to do this because I enjoy giving her pleasure, because her joy is my joy. That kind of energy shifts everything. It makes her feel honored instead of obligated. It builds emotional safety instead of pressure. And when a woman feels safe and honored, her body responds in ways that performance and pressure never achieve. Here's the hard truth, gentlemen. Transactional intimacy leaves both people empty. It keeps you disconnected. always waiting for something in return, always wondering if you've earned her affection. But intimacy is not a business deal, it's a bond. When you give without expecting, when you show up in the moment simply because you want to, she will give back to you naturally, freely, and abundantly because she wants to, not because she feels she has to. So stop treating her body like a bargaining chip. Stop approaching intimacy with conditions. Instead, step into the moment with generosity, authenticity, and presence. Because when you do, you won't just receive pleasure, you'll receive her trust, her vulnerability, and her deepest connection. And that, gentlemen, is priceless. Gentlemen, silence can be deadly in intimacy. Too many men believe their actions alone are enough, that if they just do the right moves, that's all it takes. But here's the truth. Women don't just respond to physical touch. They respond to energy, to presence, to the way you make them feel. And silence, when it feels like absence, creates distance. Think about it. When you're with her, she doesn't just want to feel your body, she wants to feel your soul. Your words, your breath, the sounds you make, all of these are signals that tell her, I'm here, I want you, I see you. When you're quiet in the wrong way, she might start wondering, is he in his head? Is he disconnected? Is he even enjoying this? Doubt creeps in. The moment becomes mechanical instead of magical. But when you use your voice, when you whisper her name, when you tell her how much you love the way she responds, when you affirm her beauty, you're giving her permission to relax into the moment. Your words anchor her. They let her know she's not just lying there being done to. She's wanted, desired, celebrated. And it doesn't always have to be words. Your breath alone can be powerful. The sound of your breathing, close to her ear, on her skin, can send chills down her spine. Even the simple act of letting her hear you enjoying yourself, letting her feel your excitement, builds intimacy. Because passion is contagious. When she feels yours, it awakens hers. Energy is another language you cannot ignore. If your body is stiff, distracted, or hesitant, she will feel it. If your energy is hungry, attentive, and deeply focused, she will feel that too. And energy doesn't lie. You can fake words, you can fake technique, but you cannot fake energy. So stop being silent. Stop disappearing into the moment as if your presence alone is enough. Use every tool you have, your words, your breath, your energy, to remind her that she is not just an object of pleasure, but the center of your desire. Because when she feels that, truly feels it, her response will be deeper, freer, and unforgettable. Gentlemen, intimacy is not about silence. It's about communication. Speak with your body, your voice, your energy. Let her know you are wanted, you are cherished, you are unforgettable. Gentlemen, let me leave you with this truth. Intimacy without heart is empty. Too many men treat physical connection as the end goal, forgetting that what truly makes a moment unforgettable isn't just what you do with your body, it's what you bring with your heart. Yes, desire is physical. Yes, attraction is biological. But the reason a woman remembers one man and forgets another has nothing to do with technique. It has everything to do with emotion. Did she feel safe with you? Did she feel desired, valued, honored? Or did she just feel like you were chasing your own release? The bedroom is one of the most vulnerable spaces in the world. It's where she opens herself in ways that go beyond skin. And if you forget to bring your heart into that space, she will feel used instead of cherished. She will remember the emptiness instead of the passion. A high-value man understands this. He doesn't separate love from desire or emotion from passion. He knows that when he looks into her eyes, when he touches her with care, when he gives with authenticity, he's building something much stronger than pleasure. He's building trust. And trust is the foundation of every lasting connection. So don't just show up with your body, show up with your soul. Tell her, not just with words, but with the energy you bring, you matter. You are more than a body. You are my woman, and I honor you. Because when she feels your heart in the moment, she doesn't just give herself physically, she gives herself emotionally. And that, gentlemen, is the difference between an experience she forgets tomorrow and one that lingers in her memory for years. Stop forgetting the heart, because at the end of the day, No woman lies awake remembering the techniques. She lies awake remembering how you made her feel. And if you can touch her heart as deeply as you touch her body, then you are not just a man she slept with. You are a man she will never forget. Gentlemen, intimacy is not just physical. It is emotional, spiritual, human. Bring your heart, and you'll never need to question your worth in her eyes.